Emmys given out. Let's check in with Gail Pennington, TV critic from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Good morning, Gail Pennington.
Good morning, McGraw-Millhaven.
What were your thoughts on Neil Patrick Harris?
Well, yeah, I think you picked the very best part of the show to play. I thought it was among the worst Emmy shows I've ever seen.
Oh, my goodness. Really?
Yes, horrible.
Wow.
And I don't really blame Neil Patrick Harris because he's a good host. He's done other things. He's been great. I hated the way the show was structured. I hated the opening. I thought it was really slow. I thought dropping the death tributes through the whole thing just really brought it down.
I didn't understand. Now, I will say this. I didn't understand after Robin Williams gives that great heartfelt goodbye to Jonathan Winters, they go to some strange guy in the back who was standing there with Bob Newhart. That didn't make any sense to me.
Well, they had a sideline reporter who was Shamar Moore from The Young and the Restless, who was wasting time telling us what people we might see later.
Right.
And at the expense of the winners didn't get any time at all to make their speeches. I mean, I don't like long speeches either, but really 5 seconds?
They should give the speeches time depending on who it is, right? If you win,
well, that's not fair.
Well, hey, you know what? It's entertainment. If you win for best key grip, you get 15 seconds. If you're Michael Douglas, you get 35 seconds, 40 seconds, whatever it may be. All right, so you didn't.
The very best speech was the first one. Merritt Weaver, who won for Nurse Jackie,
Thanks.
got up on stage, and she was very emotional, and by the time she opened her mouth, they were playing her off, and she said, "Gotta go, bye."
Thanks, gotta go. Have a good day. What about Michael Douglas's speech? I mean, you gotta say that's one of the best all-time speeches.
I probably wasn't listening by that point. I was probably stabbing things, you know, like sofa pillows with a knife.
Why am I a TV critic? I can't take this anymore.
Right.
Well, I will tell you. He says that he won the award with Matt Damon because it was a two-handed award, and you really couldn't do this without the second hand. And it was a sexual reference, which didn't go over very well, which actually went over very well, which was very funny. And then he said, we should split this statue in half. Do you want the top or the bottom?
I actually used that as one of my little overheard on TV quotes that'll be in with my column later this week. That's very funny.
I'm shocked you thought it was as bad as you thought it was.
I'm shocked that you didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. I was more offended by the fact that John Hamm didn't win, and Jeff Daniels won for Best Drama.
Oh gosh, that was horrifying. That was really a low point for me.
I mean,
people like that show, and he gives it his all. He works with what he's given.
He shows up on time, and he knows his lines.
Well, he acts. But there were everyone else in that category should have won.
It's such a disconnect.
Yeah.
Also, we were talking with somebody earlier today. No actor on Mad Men has won an Emmy for acting.
Ever, really?
Ever.
I can't believe that.
Mad Men hasn't won one acting Emmy. And then how do you not give it to Bryan Cranston in Breaking Bad?
Right. He will win next year. Inevitably, he will win next year because he was judged on the first 8 episodes of this season, not the second 8. But, I mean, he should win anyway. He should always win.
Right, yeah. How about Netflix winning Best Director? I mean, I
think that's pretty insignificant.
Really?
Yeah, it would have been significant if House of Cards, which I did not think was very good, had won for Best Drama.
But the fact that a website won an Emmy is kind of a big deal, no?
I don't think it's the first, to tell you the truth. I think some smaller Emmys have been won before by online-only programming. That's not going to stop. Orange is the New Black is going to win next year.
Right.
Something.
Yeah. And Modern Family is the last great sitcom of all time?
Well, it wasn't very good last year.
I agree.
And the fact that it won again tells me that the Emmy voters don't really watch much TV. And sometimes they vote just because they've heard of it, you know?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a valid point. What's this new TV show we're hearing about with James Spader tonight?
This is the first week of the new season, by the way. Happy new season.
Happy new season to you.
And there are a lot of in-season premieres this week. Tonight on NBC is The Blacklist with James Spader, and it's very hard to explain. It's not bad. It's interesting, but he's a master criminal who turns himself into the FBI and wants to work with them to capture other master criminals, but only if he can work with a specific young female agent.
All right. This then brings up to our conversation we've been having both on the air and off the air all morning long. And as a television critic, Gail Pennington, I'd love to get your thoughts on this. If Breaking Bad started on NBC, would it have made it through the first season before it was canceled?
It would never have started at NBC. NBC would have heard the pitch, and they would have said, "Are you crazy?"
Because it was too out there. It never would have worked. It was too racy.
It was too negative. It was too risky a subject, with the drug making.
Right.
No, they would never have picked it up. And then if they had, remember when it started on AMC, the ratings were really poor.
Oh, really?
Poor.
Huh.
Even for AMC, which always gets pretty small.
Right. And so what, AMC decided that it was a quality show and they want to give it a place to breathe?
Right.
Yeah.
And it never really took off and became a huge hit until people started streaming it and getting the DVDs and getting caught up.
Right. Which is really interesting because, these great programs find a place to live. What about Mad Men? Mad Men wouldn't have survived on NBC.
Oh, no, Mad Men wouldn't have. Well, they would have. That makes me sad. They would have changed Mad Men so much that we would hardly recognize it.
Right, but I mean, it goes to show you that network television is really dead.
Well, except the networks have a different challenge. They have to appeal to everybody. They are broadcasters. They can't have niche shows that bring in 1 million viewers. They have to have 10 million, and that's low.
Right. Which again, but again, your NCIS, while it might be a good bang 'em up, shoot 'em up cop show, is never going to win awards anymore.
Well, and people wonder why, because they say, 17 million people a week watch it and love it, and why is it not nominated?
Yeah, it's an interesting world we live in.
Right.
All right, so Gail did not like the Emmys, the worst of all.
Yes, I think you can read my scathing review in today's paper.
STLtoday.com?
Yes, it is up on STLtoday.com. It's also in that, that printed thing they throw on the lawn.
I believe they call that newspaper.
Yes.
All right, cool.
It is in the newspaper.
Gail, have a good week. Thanks for checking in.
You too.
Gail Pennington, TV critic from St. Louis Post-Dispatch, also STLtoday.com. And this video of this interview will be up at STLtoday.com. Give us about an hour or so. 8:30 here on the Big 550 KT.